Greetings, salutations. Can you believe it? It's December, folks. December 1st, 2025, Monday. And we are back at it after a holiday weekend, a 4-day weekend for many, not for everyone. And certainly did a lot of work and also enjoyed ourselves. So a nice balance of both. Went with Cornish game hens in the end for the meal, since it was just the two of us, and it was perfect. What cute little hens, I tell you. And I didn't feel deprived at all of turkey. We had all, we made a nice assembly of food to go with the game hens, and that was just perfect. Had the veg, had sweet potatoes, just delicious. It's amazing. It's really true. I mean, when you buy good quality ingredients, you don't need a lot of it, and you don't need to do a whole lot to it. It really is. It was just prove that just good quality stuff tends to be good on its own, and or with little fanfare. So anyway, I hope if you do celebrate Thanksgiving that you had a good Thanksgiving, a great Thanksgiving actually. Hopefully no family fights broke out. It was a relief to not be traveling, I have to say, with just the airports and everything and the way they are. We will be doing some traveling for Christmas, so like many of us out there, it's cross your fingers, say a prayer, and see how it goes. So hopefully that goes well. What do we got going on today? I think it's a high of 42 today in the New York City area, so 10 degrees above freezing Fahrenheit. And it's 39 degrees right now. So, yeah, we're definitely down into chilly zone, although we only have 20 days left until winter officially starts. So it's definitely feeling like we're there already. But it should be a beautiful day, I think, as far as sun goes, which is nice. I don't mind cold and sunny. That's kind of enjoyable, actually. So no rain, so we will take it. On the Ye Olde Almanac, I was looking here, a couple of points for today. On this day, back in, what was it? Back in 1955, on this day, this was the day that Rosa Parks, a seamstress in Montgomery, Alabama, was arrested for refusing to give up her bus seat to a white passenger. That was 1955. So what is that, 70 years ago? Pretty amazing how long ago that is, and what we're still grappling with to this day on so many different issues and in so many different areas. The other one that was sort of interesting to me was 1913 on this day was the first drive-in gasoline service station that opened in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The first time you could drive in and get gas. Pittsburgh. Who knew it was Pittsburgh? I didn't know that. 1913. So 112 years ago. And on this day, 10 years ago, my wife and I got married. And so that's what we're celebrating today is 10 years of wedded bliss. And more than that, just 10 years of commitment and adventure and life. And so I'm in a lot of gratitude today because it feels like it snuck up on us. In fact, we both sort of looked at each other yesterday and I said, "Do you realize what tomorrow is?" And she said, "What?" I said, "It's 10 years." Now, we have an actual legal marriage date, and we have a wedding date that was, 8 months later. So we can celebrate either one, but this is the more significant one, I think, the legal date in some ways, because it was just the two of us in a city office in Japan waiting for a bureaucrat to stamp a piece of paper. It's rather unceremonious the way it works there, but it was still such a special night. And I remember we went and had dinner, and it was just wonderful, wonderful time. So I can't believe that it's been 10 years. And it just proves, we got to make every day count because it goes by fast. It really, really does. I want to share some, just some updates. The adventure continues with, working on the next chapter. And And the podcast, or sorry, the show, Building Business Relationship Show, speaking of time, one of the good things about being in something for the long haul is that all things are fungible. And what I mean by that is I'm really giving myself a long ramp up period to figure some stuff out and try out different formats and work with different people, see who comes forward with real collaboration and see who kind of falls off the map. And it kind of lowers the water, and you can see, okay, who's really in your camp on this, who's wanting to partner, who's able to partner right now. And what are the options in terms of space and technology and topics. And as part of that, I'm reading a book by a professor. It was recommended by another professor at USC, and the book is on trust. And it's really, it's been such a timely read. I've had it in my Kindle for a while, but because of the show, I'm diving deeper into different topics. And so I started reading this book. It's called How Trust Works: The Science of How Relationships Are Built, Broken, and Repaired. Dr. Peter Kim, PhD. I don't know if he's still at USC or not. I haven't checked. He was as of a couple of years ago. But one of the things in the book, and I'm about halfway done with it, so I'll be finished soon, was that when it comes to apologies, what really works. And this really blew my mind that, when they look at the research, so if somebody has an indiscretion, or sorry, not an indiscretion, if somebody makes a mistake, and it's a mistake of competence, meaning they screwed up, they didn't read something right, they whatever it was, they made an accounting error, essentially negligence, right? Or just incompetence. And if they come out with a full-throated apology that says, "Oh, you know what, I messed up. I'll learn from this. I'll fix it." We tend to forgive and trust that person. In fact, sometimes you can end up trusting them more because of the way they apologize. So because of that, I think a lot of us have assumed that, the best way to handle any kind of mistake is to be as open and forthright and conciliatory as possible. Transparency, right? We grow up listening to this. But if the infraction is essentially a moral infraction, something where, you've done something that is against your integrity, or, it's an integrity-based problem. So you're grifting, right? You're stealing from people. You're whatever it is. But if it's an issue around integrity, and I'll fold in morality to that. So it turns out that a full-throated apology is actually not effective in improving people's trust around you because of the nature of it. And it explains why we see so many people publicly, especially recently, more and more, who just simply deny, because a denial is at least as good, as well. Absent people not finding out at all. I mean, that's the best outcome if you're going to go against integrity, is you just hope no one finds out. But if people do find out, you're better off denying it than you are admitting it and doing the full-throated apology. In general, people tend to it reinforces a belief about your integrity. And this explains why so many people blatantly lie when caught with integrity-based behaviors. They've learned that it at a minimum, they're going to be at the stat. They're already diminished because of whatever it is that they did, and it's not going to get any better for them if they admit to it. So unless there's a legal proceeding involved, which is different. But in terms of opinion, they will be better off with some people. And some people will believe the denial because we're able to engage in willful denial if we want other things to be true. So the penny dropped for me as to why people shamelessly lie when caught in a lie. Because they're better off than admitting it in general. And there's more. I'm continuing to read this, but these are some of the topics that I want to explore when we do the panel discussions on the show. Does it make sense to apologize anymore? Now, I will argue yes, but we're going to go deep into this. So, do you know somebody who just denies things when they commit integrity-based errors as opposed to competency-based errors? Again, competency-based errors, it turns out, apologies are quite effective, especially if you really show contrition and you make changes. But when it comes to integrity, not so much. It's fascinating. It's something I want to go into more, and certainly trust is, to me, an evergreen topic, but also one that is particularly resonant right now as we look to what kind of society we want to build now. Because if you haven't noticed, a lot of things have changed. And you know what? They always are changing. That's the thing. So how do we change and adapt along with it and make tomorrow a little bit better by working together? All right, I'm going to leave it there. I hope that's helpful to you, sparks some kind of thought or curiosity. Please do give us a good like on Apple Podcasts. But more than anything, as always, be good to yourself and others, and we will check back with you again tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.